All right, let's see. I think I've got everything going. Hello. I'm like, oh hey, Sandra on Insta. So I am happy to have y'all back again. So I couldn't help myself and I treated myself to this shirt, which I don't know if y'all have seen. There's a company in San Antonio called Sweb, and they had a very tragic fire probably a month ago, I guess maybe a little bit more now. And the creator, when all of this stuff happened, made these t-shirts and she made them, most of them are in English, right? And says in this together. And then she also just released the Spanish ones, which made my heart happy. But all of it, they're using the profits to buy gift cards for nonprofits or buy gift cards to local businesses and give those gift cards to nonprofits so that nonprofits can get them to people who don't have access to certain things right now. So it's kind of like this really cool loop, but the message to me of in this together kind of stuck because here we are, right? We're all physically distant and trying to find our way to connect. And at the same time, the idea of yoga is about bringing things together, right? Yoga is union, is one of the very traditional definitions of yoga. And so with that, I am happy to like kind of think about bringing that all together. And so my invitation to you tonight is, one, know that there's somebody on the other side of this camera, right? You're with me. For those of you right now, y'all are with me live. And so we're all existing through this and we're all going to find our way through this together. And then you have your own sense of togetherness, right? If the second that everything gets too big and overwhelming, for me, yoga is the call to bring it back to my body, to bring it back to my breath, to get very connected to the ground, rooting quality. And so that's what I invite you. That's my invitation to you for class tonight. And I have one person trying to join. High techness. Okay. And so with that, this is a really fun sequence. I've taught it before for Karma Yoga at 5 points. But we're going to work with my favorite pose that I've been changing the story about for a long time, called Warrior 3. And then we're also going to do some really fun, playful things. So I invite you for really to find that element of play. So with that, we're going to start on our back. So lay back onto your back. And take a second here to feel your right foot on the mat. Feel your left foot on the mat. Feel your right hip on the mat. Your left hip on the mat. I think you might be able to hear my dogs tonight, by the way, so it sounds like they're playing along. Put your right shoulder on the mat. Your left shoulder on the mat in the back of your head. So can you really connect? Feel how you have feet and hips and shoulders and a head and hands. You have this whole body that we move through the world in. Just take a breath here and feel the support beneath you. The grounding quality, literally, while laying on the ground. And then when you're ready, hug your right knee into your chest, keeping your left foot grounded. So you can stay right here and just hug any amount. You can kind of rock and roll. Maybe you want to take your foot up to the ceiling. You can interlace your hands behind your thigh into like a little half happy baby. We're going to be using some of these shapes again later. The final option is maybe, depending on your hip flexibility, you can hook one or both hands. Later in class, I can hook a little more easily. Right now, it's a pretty big ask. The thigh is a little kinder to myself. So make a choice, but just hug your thigh towards your chest. Observe where you're tight. You can roll your right ankle. And appreciate, right? These feet have carried you through your day to this moment. And then plant your right foot down. Pause. Observe your right foot, your left foot, right hip and left hip. And then hug your left knee into your chest. So we'll start with just that chest hug. You could stay right here. You can rock and roll a little bit if it feels good. I always like to imagine I'm rocking myself. I'm offering myself that kindness that we would offer and rock a baby. You can stay there or point your foot towards the ceiling and hook your right foot on your right hands around both hands around your left thigh. Maybe you can wrap around your foot coming into that half happy baby. Ardha Ananda Balasana for my yoga peeps that I made to learn Sanskrit for class. And take one more hug here. And then plant both feet back down. From here, we're going to talk to our sciatic nerve. So a lot of people have heard of sciatica, right? It's a giant nerve that runs through your low back from your hip, through your back of your leg, through your calf to the sole of your foot. If it is not happy, it is not happy. So we're going to do some sciatic nerve flossing. And so for this, you're going to hug your right knee into your chest and interlace both hands behind your right thigh. Bend your knee and flex your foot. So you're pulling your toes up towards your kneecap while your knee is bent. And then inhale, start to straighten your leg, point your toe. When you get to the top, as straight as your leg can, with your toe as pointed as you can. And then exhale, come back down, flexing your foot, bending your knee. Inhale, point and straighten. Exhale, bend and flex. We're gonna do this about 10 times on each side. And so the deal with nerves is they're kind of like an electrical cord. Have you ever accidentally tripped over an electrical cord and you know that like tug that doesn't feel good? Like the cord is tight, it's pulling in the plug. That's kind of the way our nerves work in our body. They don't like to stretch. They're not like muscles that like to spring back. They like to slide and glide. And they're in a sheath. And so by doing this, we're talking to that sciatic nerve. We're letting it glide and prepare. We're telling you, you're going to be okay in this together. And then when you've done about 10, plant your right foot back down, pause for a second in between sides. And then hug your left knee in, bending your left knee towards your chest with your thighs wrapped, hands wrapped around your left thigh. Bend your knee, flex your foot, pulling your toes up towards your kneecap or your nose. And then again, use your breath and just kindly move. Inhale, slowly pointing and straightening. Exhale, bending and flexing. And we're talking to that nerve in the back of our leg that runs through our back. It's the biggest nerve in our body. I hope I'm saying that right. I think that's my understanding at least. And so if it gets grumpy, it gets pretty grumpy. So we're going to do some hamstring stuff. And so this is telling us to not be so grumpy. So if you've ever done a forward fold and you stretched your calf, it might be your sciatic nerve. So this is just preparing all of that. And again, when you finish about 10 rounds, release and plant both feet back on the mat. Breathe here, feeling that. All right, from here, we're coming into Supta Tadasana, reclining mountain pose. Press out through your heels as if you were standing on an imaginary wall at the bottom of your mat. Press strong through both legs, really trying to ground both legs into the mat. Press down through both hips. Feel your shoulders on the ground. Keeping your left leg locked where it is, lift your right leg up towards the sky. we're trying to see if we can get to a 90-degree angle. For some of us, that might be way too much at the beginning of class. You're gonna interlace your hands behind your thigh. If that doesn't reach, you can always use fingertips or grab a towel or a strap. Press up through your heel and really pull, if you can wrap your hands, pull your shoulders back down into the ground, push your thigh back into your hands. Keep kicking up towards the ceiling. So we're trying to pull with our arms and our shoulders and push with our thigh. And with that, you might get a nice little reset on your right low back. Some people do, not everybody. It's fine, you're still getting great things even if you're not feeling that. And now from here, keeping your leg as close to that 90-degree angle as you can, inhale, and if possible, if you don't have stuff around you, stretch your arms over your head. I have stuff, I'm gonna come out in a T. But I want you to imagine here, you're in the pose of Warrior 3. So you're standing on the foot on your ceiling, you're pressing out through your left leg, your back is flat, your heel and head are in line. So get context for this shape, kind of like an upside down letter T. And then release your right leg. Stretch out through your right heel, anchor your right leg into your mat. Imagine you're standing on a wall under your right foot, or under, and then from there, bring your left leg up. And again, we're trying to see if we can find a 90-degree angle. For some of us, that's at the end of class when we've done a lot of prep. Push through your heel. Flex your foot. If you can, interlace your hands around your thigh, pull your shoulders back into the mat and push your thigh into your hands. So you've got this push-pull relationship you're creating. So there's some action happening, yet no movement. And then really kick that foot up to the sky. And we're gonna come into that Warrior 3 shape again. So keep everything locked, and then can you maybe extend your hands out overhead with your arms straight, or with your arms out to the side like you're playing with an airplane, like you're a little kid with some airplane wings. And imagine now you're standing on the ceiling. Feel that connection between your heel, your hips, and your head of your right side, one flat line. So later we're gonna play with this as a balance challenge. And then exhale, release, back down. You're gonna hug your knees into your chest. We're gonna come over to a plank. One option is to rock and roll to get there. So maybe you can start to rock front to back. And get enough momentum that roll. You can take your hands down and your feet back and land you in a plank pose. So for plank, spread your fingertips. Grip with your fingers. Push through your first finger knuckle joint. Push the ground away as if your chest were a magnet that was repelling the earth. Find a tiny puff right between your shoulders. Push back through your heels. Breathe. And then push from here. Bend your knees. Push through your arms. Move your chest towards your thighs. Send your hips straight towards the ceiling. And then maybe, just maybe, slowly start to straighten out your legs. Breathe here. Downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. One more breath in this pose. From here, lift your right leg. You're in a three-legged dog. Bring your knee to your nose, and then start to bring your foot all the way up in between your hands. You can help it there. Take a couple steps, whatever you need. Once you found yourself in this lunge, spin your left heel down, turning your foot so it's parallel to the edge of the mat, like a Warrior 2 foot. Walk your hands over to the top left corner of your mat. So you've got like a Warrior 2 leg thing, and you've got this down dog upper body. So I learned this from my teacher, Christina Stiles. She calls it down dog lunge. So from here, can you really think about anchoring your right sit bone towards your left inner foot? And then reach out through your hands, keeping the length in your spine. Take one more breath here. And now walk your hands. We're gonna spin ourselves all the way to face the other direction on our mat. So keep walking your hands towards, if you were at 11 o'clock, now you just walk yourself back to 6. Turn your right toes so they're about a 30-degree angle. And then from here, maybe you can start to push and straighten your left leg coming into pyramid pose. Imagine you can drag your left hip back and pull your right hip forward, squaring your hips. From there, pull your belly button and reach the crown of your head away. You might be on fingertips. Blocks could be nice, but we're not going to stay too long. And then from here, bend your left knee, place your hands down, push back, plank pose. One breath in plank, big inhale, push the ground away, and then bend your knees, charge your arms, move your chest towards your thigh, send your hips high, find yourself back in downward facing dog. One more breath here. Lift your left leg. Can you feel that same connection between your head and your heel? Can you imagine it's one line, much like we were on our back? It's kind of our warrior 3 shape, but from a down dog. And then bring your left leg up and in toward your chest. And then from here, you're gonna step your left foot. You can take a nice small step, so you can do it in one go. Arriving in that lunge, a high lunge. From here, spin your right heel down. Your right foot is parallel to the short edge of your mat, like warrior 2. So you got warrior 2 legs, and you're gonna walk your hands off. So you're coming back towards the direction you left, and we're finding that down dog lunge. So we've got a warrior 2, walking your hands forward, push through your arms, finding length in your spine. Breathe here. Think about pulling your left sit bone in towards your right big toe. You might feel that help externally rotate your left thigh. You might also say, no thanks, I've got enough. I don't need to think about something else. All right, from here, walk your hands back up to your original top of your mat. Plant your left heel, your left foot's at about a 30-degree angle, and slowly begin to maybe straighten your legs. Blocks can be really lovely in this pose. Pull your right hip back, bring your left hip forward, reaching out through the crown of your head, trying to find a nice flat back while you square your hips. You're probably very aware of your right hamstring, if it's like mine. And then plant your hands, push back. This time, drop your knees. Bring yourself back to child's pose. Your big toes together, knees wide, hips go towards your heels. Rest your forehead. Take a second and rest. So we're back in that same shape we began in with our knees to our chest, but now we're upside down in relation to gravity. And for me, this pose really brings me back to the theme of tonight's class, in this together, right? Can you feel your belly and your breath on your thighs? Can you feel your head on the mat? Breathe. Breath connected to body. Inhale, lift yourself up to tabletop. If you have grumpy knees, I invite you to use a towel or a blanket, something underneath your knees think I need to move back. This is not going to work for the next thing. Okay. Strategic placement with chair in front of me. All right. So from here, with your knees on your blanket, if you've got one, spread your hands again. Your hands are beneath your shoulders. Grip with your fingertips. Tonight, let's tuck our toes for our cat-cow setup, because sometimes we don't ever think about stretching the soles of our feet. So tucking your toes, you might start to feel a little bit of a stretch in the bottom of your foot. From here, inhale, drop your belly, pull your shoulders down towards your hips, reach the crown of your head away, tailbone away. Exhale, push the ground away, spread your shoulder blades apart. Inhale, drag your shoulders towards your hips, reaching your hips away, head away, cow. Exhale, push, spread your shoulder blades apart, rounding up. One more. Follow your breath, notice your movement, what moves easily, what does not. Come back to center. From here, stretch up through your right heel. Press back. You might get a little calf stretch, which can be really nice. From here, lift and hover your right foot. Now, something really important to pay attention to here is to see if your hip, a lot of us want to lift our leg high. The goal here is to have a nice flat hip. So it's only a few inches. Keeping that, stretch your left arm out. Sunbird, Chakravakasana. You might feel a little unbalanced, that's the point. You might feel your core work. And then bring it back down. Plant your left hand, get yourself stable back in neutral. Toes tucked to reach out through your left foot, pressing up through your left heel. And then lift up. Reach out through your right hand. You might notice each side is different. How can you give yourself and honor the differences between each side? Can you just observe them without judgment to find to be some of the hard work? And then back down. Okay, here we go again. We're gonna add on those. So stretch up through your right leg. So option one is to keep your right toes on the ground. This time you're actually gonna stretch out your right hand. Maybe you can lift your toes, but we're starting to play more with that like warrior three. From here, can you open, stacking your hips, rolling your chest towards the wall away from the ground, half moon. And then roll yourself back close, bring your knee back down. This is foreshadowing, just in case you wanted to know. Stretch out through your left foot. You can keep your toes on the ground the whole time and just pay attention to your hips and your chest, or try to lift your left toes. Maybe you can lift your left arm. And then maybe begin to spin, lifting up, finding that half moon shape, but from your knee. And then exhale, spin back down, plant your hands. Push yourself back, child's pose. Bring your hands towards your heels, roll out your wrists. We're about to get off of our knees and our wrists. One last breath in child's pose. Inhale, lift up. Walk your hands about 6 inches forward so you're like a knees down plank. Tuck your toes, press and hover your knees. Charge your arms, move your chest towards your thighs. Straighten your legs, downward facing dog yet again. Can you feel the weight in your feet and your hands? Are you sharing the weight equally in your body? And then walk your hands back to meet your feet, so you're at the back of the mat. Bend your knees, hook your elbows, hang your head, ragdoll. If you have something on your mat, you move it away. And then from here, bending your knees, roll up. Stacking yourself one vertebrae at a time till you arrive standing on your mat. All right, some of the fun is here. So we're gonna do a couple different standing sequences. And so we're gonna play with those same shapes that we had. So you're at the back of your mat, pull your core in, find some stability, stand strong in your left foot, and then step forward with your right foot, coming into a nice high lunge. From here, transfer the weight. You can walk your back leg in just a little bit, keeping that knee bent. And we're gonna come towards a warrior three. So start to straighten your right leg. And maybe from here, you can start to tip forward, heel and head in line. Maybe you just tip back. So there's a little toy I loved that was a little tippy bird, had a cool hat. I just imagine him playing like that. So can you keep that connection? So remember we had head to heel. So just tip a couple times. Maybe take yourself towards the letter T as much as you can. I like my hands in prayer. You could go back to the airplane, you take your hands overhead, or you can use anything you can grab onto. I can even have a table. Maybe you want to use a wall or a chair. And then plant yourself back down. All right, from here, we're gonna try this we're gonna switch legs first. So push yourself back. So both feet are at the back of your mat. Standing this time strongly on your right foot, step forward with your left foot coming in towards a lunge. Push into your left leg to start to come up onto your right toes. And now check in here, connect in this together. Your head has to connect through your hips to your heel. Can you find one line on the right side of your body? Charge your left leg, find stability, and then begin to rock forward. And rock back. And just play. Here's your warrior three. And again, one side might have a lot more wobble. For me, it's this side. I find that's when the stories want to start. Can we let the story go and just be in this? Feeling my left foot planted, feeling the balance challenge, trying to talk and move and work. Let go of the story. Even that's a story. And then come back to standing. Push yourself back. Okay, options for the next. I need to have a block for this one. Canned goods work really well. A wall would work nicely. Anything that this chair or table might work. But we're gonna play. So one option is to come back onto your hands and knees. We're gonna play with this shape of opening towards half moon and closing again. So we're really paying attention to that back hip. So you can do it on your knees or with your block. You're gonna bend, step your left foot back, step your right foot forward, bend your knee. Place your block or place your hand on the mat about 12 inches forward from your foot and slightly towards the right. From here, bending your knee, press down, come up. So you've got the block to give you support. So can you start now with your hip closed, your toe pointing to the ground, and then begin to try to roll and stack and open towards, I'm falling too, y'all. And maybe you can find your way towards half moon. Ardha Chandrasana, where your hips are stacked, your shoulders are stacked. Oh, and then exhale, roll back down. Oh, thankfully we're done with that side. Step back, come up. Oh, this is one I wish I had all of y'all sound on to know how this is going. Okay, we have a second side. From here, left foot is forward. Place your block on the outside of your left pinky toe, about a foot forward. With your knee bent, push down, charge. Can you start with that warrior three shape where your hips are leveled, your toes are to the ground, and then from there, begin to stack and open. And try to find half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. Can you still maintain the head to heel connection? And from there, close again, step down, push back. Awesome, shake it out. We're gonna do some, so in Yoga Land, we always think about like front to back, but sometimes we forget about our sides, and in our day-to-day life, we don't move that. So this is gonna be a really fun lateral challenge that still plays with balance. And so we're gonna stay in this together. Start yourself facing the long edge of your mat towards the top, so that your right foot is closest to the edge of your mat. From there, find both feet, squeeze your legs together, pull up, find Tadasana. Pull your hips in, pull your chest in, roll your shoulders up, back and down, let them fall away. And breathe. Shifting your weight onto your right foot, start to lift your left toes. Slowly turn your left foot out to the side. And really recommit to keeping that one line all together on that right side. Right heel, right hip, right shoulder. Slowly start to bring your left foot up towards tree pose, Vrikshasana. You can stay right where you are. You have the option to try to grab your foot and bring your foot up higher on your thigh if you want. For me, I lose my integrity in my hip. I find that just sliding it up challenges me, and I get an inch or two every so often. All right, Vrikshasana. From there, release your right foot, bend your right knee, and you're gonna cross over with your left thigh, coming into eagle. Your left toe can be on the ground. You're trying to bring your inner thighs as close together. Maybe you can find one more wrap here. Hook, swing your left elbow underneath your right, hooking onto your right tricep, and then you could bring your shoulders flat, hands down onto your shoulders. Maybe you can have one eagle feather or both pressing together. Final option is one more wrap. The thing we're avoiding here are claws. We want a pretty pointy feather. Breathe, Garudasana. Push down, keep your eagle arms, step your left foot wide across your mat. So you're in a nice wide-footed thing. And then unwrap your arms, sit into your left, bend into your left knee, pressing out through your outer right edge, Skandasana variation. So option one is stay right here, right? I feel like I'm like a power skater, ready to go. For some yoga people, this is a pose that they like to take towards the earth and really drop the hip. It's a deep inner thigh stretch. So you have to choose where you're at tonight. And then from there, push straighten back up and anchor your left foot. Push off your right foot, bring your feet together. You're now at the left edge of your mat. Okay, we're taking ourselves back. Here we go. Find your Tadasana first. And then use your right leg, turn it out to the side. You can find a nice little kickstand where the ball of the foot is on the earth, your heel is on your ankle. Really commit, find that one line integrated all the way through, start to slide out. Option to bring your hands together. This is your tree. Take your hands where you want them. You're gonna sit into eagle. Bend your left knee, cross your right thigh tight over. And place your right toe on the ground. Maybe hooking the right leg. behind. Option here to find our eagle arms. Swing, hook your right arm underneath your left. Place your right hand on your left shoulder. You can place your left hand down on your right shoulder. Stay here. You can start with one feather. Maybe bring the backs of your arms together. Option to wrap completely. Keeping the arms if you can. Push off of your left foot. Bring your right leg up, step wide. From here, release your arms. Ugh. Bend your right knee, taking yourself down into that lunge. So you've got the skater work going. You can stay in this nice high lunge, or maybe letting your left toe spin up. You can drop your right heel, Skandasana. Breathe. And then push down through your right foot. Bring both feet down to the ground. Hinge forward at your hips. Plant your hands. Let your head hang. For Saratapadatanasana, wide leg forward fold. Take a breath or two here. How do your hamstrings feel now after where we began the class? Bend your knees, walk your hands in, push your hands in your hips. Lift up. Let's try that one more time because I find getting to know where we're going helps. So push off your left foot, bring your left foot to meet your right. We're gonna try that sequence again. So we got tree, eagle, down to a lunge, side lunge, Skandasana. All right, standing on both feet. Anchor, right leg, right hip, right shoulder. Lift your left toes. Slide your left foot up, bringing it out to the side. Tree, Vrikshasana. Push wherever you can. Push your foot into your knees where mine made it. Which, by the way, this is perfectly safe on our knees. And our knees are strong and resilient. From here, bend, squat, cross your left leg over. Maybe you stay there. Maybe you find that one more wrap. Swing your left arm underneath your right. And you can place your hands down, backs of the palms together, or wrap. Option to keep the wrap. I find it kind of a fun challenge. We're gonna push through our right leg, take our left leg wide. So when you're ready, inhale to prepare. And then push down, bring that leg up, step wide. Unwind your hands. And bend your left knee, take your hips back. You've got a lunge option here. You can use your hands on the ground. You can have them in prayer. So option one, keep your lunge high. Option two, drop down, lower. Rotating that leg up. You can get low. I find a nice press to open here. Push back down, both feet wide, and this time push off your right foot, bringing your right foot to meet your left, so you're at the back side of your mat. So we're using all of our mat, but we're just going, move in a different direction. Stand strongly in your left leg. Slide your right foot up. Find your tree. Push. Marry together your foot and your left leg. Really keep drawing up. Notice that there's a lot of wanting to give in. Can you keep drawing up through your hip? Swing your right arm under. Oh, we're coming into eagle. Bring your right leg over. Take your right foot possibly behind your left calf. Hook your right arm under your left tricep. Arms flat. Backs of the palms together. Or wrapping your hands. Garudasana, eagle pose. Feel how united everything is, right? Your arms are all tangled up, your thighs, everything's here together. Keep your arms Press down, lift your right legs, step wide. Unwind your arms. Sit down into your right side. You can imagine you're on roller skates, getting some good old power skating in here. Or you can take and drop yourself down into Skandasana and maybe push it off the side. From there, push down through your feet. One last forward fold here, wide leg forward fold for Saratapadottanasana. All right, depending which way you are facing, we're gonna end up seated here, but there's a couple ways to get there. So I might have to turn because I might end up the wrong way. Walk your hands over towards your right foot. And then from there, you're gonna start to turn your right toes around. You're gonna let your legs get caught. And I'm totally gonna be facing the right direction. But once you get all tangled up like an old school cartoon character, you're gonna sit your hips down. You're gonna spin around. All right. So with both hips down, you should have, I think, your right leg on top. Did I switch legs? No. Okay. So can you find both sit bones down on the ground? It may be helpful to have something to sit upon for this. Both hips down. You're trying to stack your knees as much as you can. Maybe that looks more like that, or maybe it looks like this. Be kind to yourself. So get your hips stacked and then bring your right arm up. Pat yourself on the back. Notice here if you want to curl forward and try to keep your head, the crown of your head straight to the sky, your elbow straight up to the sky. So you've got a nice long, and that really intensifies to me that tricep stretch. Take your left hand out, give yourself a thumbs up. Spin it down to a thumbs down. Sweep it under and behind. And you're bringing your left fingertips towards your right fingertips. Maybe, just maybe, you can catch them. Only if you don't have to curl and lose the integrity of the pose to do it. You could also just be hanging onto your ponytail or your shirt or using a strap are all really good options. One more breath here. And then unwind, let go. All right, to get to the second side, we can use that same turnaround technique. So this time your hands go down towards your left foot. No, sorry, that's your right foot, your left side. And plant your foot and walk yourself all the way in a circle, spin till your knees hook down, taking yourself down to seated. Or just kick out your legs and switch sides. And with your hips down, again, you might want to sit up on a block. If you find your knees popping up really high, a block can really help the hips in this pose. Both hips down. We're trying to get our knees towards each other as much as possible. And then take your left hand up, pat yourself on the back. Notice again if you're trying to curl forward and lift back up. Thinking long back of the neck, long crown of the head, reaching up through that left elbow. Take your right hand out, thumbs up, spin it to a thumbs down, swing it under, and try to bring it towards your shoulder blades. You might really notice that each side is different in this pose. I find it that way. Breathe here. Everything working together to create this shape, to create this moment. And then unwind. Oh. Kick out both legs, shake them out. All right. we're gonna put the shapes together, but in a different angle. So you might need to watch before you get there. I'm not totally sure if I'm gonna end up off the screen totally, but I'm using the edge of my mat to get a line once again between my heels, my hips, my shoulders, walking my right hand away. So option one is just to try to balance here, which is a little more challenge than you think. From there, you're going to be able to bring your head up, and I'm going to walk through the whole little sequence. So once you're laying down, you don't have to try to look as hard. So it's like I'm chilling. And again, maybe I stack here. From there, option to maybe bring your leg in towards tree. From tree, maybe you can grab your foot and then maybe extend. So it's kind of like that half moon we had, but now we're lying on our side. This is Vishnu's catch, and then we'll do the other side. Okay, so that's the sequence. You can stop anywhere along the way that you want, but really see if you can use the edge of your mat to find a straight line. Bring your heels stacked, hips stacked, shoulders stacked, all while lying on your right side. Spider walk your right fingertips away. See how much of your right underarm you can get planted on the ground. That might be a nice stretch for some of us right there. Bend your elbow, right elbow, lean your head in your right hand. So you could stay here, or maybe you can plant and just lean your left hand, chilling. This is already a balanced challenge. You might feel your feet going forward or your butt going back. From there, slide your left leg up, finding that tree position again that we were in. Remembering when we were laying on our back and we were trying to grab our foot, can you bring your knee closer in and maybe hook your left arm is in front of your left knee, but your fingertips are on the pinky side of your foot. So stay there, or maybe begin to try to straighten any amount. When your hamstring stays, stop. Stop. Vishnu's catch. And exhale, lower your leg down. Then we're going to turn, do the other side. You could just roll yourself over your mat. I'm going to spin myself, so I keep an eye on y'all on the screen. And then when you're ready, walk your fingertips away. Can you line up your left side of your body on the edge of your mat? Your left, both heels, both hips, shoulders. Walk your fingertips away on your left hand, really trying to get full contact with your left underarm. Bend your left elbow and just chill. Put your head in your hand. Option to stay here. Maybe you can just stack your right hand, chair your balance. Okay, next option, tree. Start to slide your foot up. From there, maybe bringing your right hand to the inside, can you catch? This is really where I feel is that tricky spot where my bum wants to roll backwards. I really want to end up on my cheek instead of my side. And then maybe from there, stretch and straighten. Option, or everybody slowly find your way out. Let yourself roll back onto your back. Shavasana is about a pose or two away. So rolling onto your back. Pause for a second here where we began class, feeling both feet, both hips, both shoulders in the back of your head. Push into your feet, squeeze your glutes, lift up. Try to drag your heels towards your head as if you weren't stuck on a sticky mat, and notice what muscles that helps to engage. Does that pull more of your backside into it for you? Keep squeezing. And then exhale, lower down. Hug your knees into your chest. Drop your knees off to your right side. Let your right hand rest on your left knee, your left hand out to the side. Maybe your head and gaze falls over to the left. Inhale, lift back. And then drop your knees over to the other side. Left hand is holding down your right knee. Stretch out your right arm. Maybe your gaze turns. Maybe it just stays straight up to the ceiling. Yoking your breath to your body. Yoking your mind's attention to your body. Bringing it all together. And then inhale, come back through center. Plant both feet one last time. Let your knees fall into each other. Feel your right foot and your left foot. Feel your knees touching. Feel your right hip and your left. Right shoulder and left shoulder. Back of your head. You have the option to stay here in this pose if it's restful for you for Shavasana, or stretch out both legs. Let your hands naturally fall to the sides beside you, or keep them on your belly to feel your breath. And in your mind's eye, I want you to see one thread connecting your whole body. Begin from the soles of your feet, up through your calves, thighs, and hips. Your left leg and your right leg connecting to your hips. Relaxing your whole legs and hips. Feel your right hand and your left hand, and feel up through your forearm, elbow, upper arm, and connect them to your shoulders. Release your jaw, your cheeks, forehead. Soften your scalp, back of your neck. Whole head and neck connecting once again. You have one body all together. Feel your shoulders rest, your back rest, your belly rest, till your whole body is completely held and supported on the floor. And let yourself rest. Softly deepen your breath. Slowly begin to stretch as if you're just waking up. Roll yourself onto one side and push your way up to a comfortable seat. Bring your palms together. Feel your right hand meet your left hand at your center. Together, we are in this. May this tiny space you've created for yourself remind you that you can connect your breath and your body and your mind at any moment on these days. And may this be a skill you use throughout your life, but knowing that we are all connected and in this together. Namaste. Thank you guys so much. Have a good dinner, Veronique.